Alrighty, folks, happy Tuesday to you. Hopefully you got the new week started off good. I'm now 3-0, my last 3 daily best plays on my premium page. I had the Mariners on the run line, and they shut out the A's 5-0 yesterday. Brian Wu looked pretty good on the bump. He threw 5 scoreless innings, and then, of course, the bullpen took care of the rest. Now, the good news is, folks, I have another $1.99 daily best play going off here today for, yep, you guessed it, just $1.99. And if you sign up for that membership here today, you're going to get access to that package every single day for the next 30 days. The math works out to be just 6 cents a day. I currently have over 780 members who are signed up and active on my premium page right now. And of course, you may be wondering what the difference is between what I do here on YouTube and what I do on my premium site. Well, what I do here on YouTube is I'll handicap the entire slate of games in any given sport, side and total. And what I do on my premium page is I actually share with you which one of these free picks on these videos that I actually like the best. And once again, guys, I'm 3-0 in my last 3 daily best plays, 7-3 in my last 10 picks in that same category. And finally, I'm hitting at 74% in my last 24 daily best plays in that very same package as well. Once again, folks, my premium site, it's patreon.com/BrockPage. And with that, folks, we're going to jump into some free content. We're going to start off with the Angels at the Rays, 6:40 p.m. East. Tampa Bay's the $2.20 favorite at home. Totals 8 runs. Taj Bradley for the Rays. Patrick Sandoval for Los Angeles. Now, Patty's recorded 13 losses for the Angels this season. He's got a 1.50 whip. Now, when the Angels are on the road, their pitchers have had a really tough time this year. These guys are allowing 5.2 runs a game in their travels. They're also facing one of the highest run-scoring lineups in the American League. The Rays are currently in the top 3 in run production at home. And in their last 10 gatherings with the Angels, the Rays have averaged over 6.4 runs a game. They are hitting this Angel pitching staff quite well. Yandy Diaz, he has the 5th highest batting average in the big leagues. OPS in the 900s. Meanwhile, Isaac Paredes leads the roster in home runs and RBI. Now, the Rays have also played quite well in when Taj Bradley pitches. The Rays have been playing good as of late. They got the W in their last 3 straight Bradley starts, and they actually averaged over 5.9 runs a game during that time frame. Now, the Rays' last 3 straight at the Trop did get over the total. They also went 7-3 the over in their last 10 at any location. Give me the Rays -1.5 over 8. Next ball game, Twins, Reds, 6:40 p.m. East. Minnesota's -1.45, totals 9.5. Kenta Maeda for Minnesota. Fernando Cruz for Cincinnati. And through 60 innings of work this season, the righty Cruz has an ERA in the 4s. And that's really been the story for the Reds this season, their lack of pitching. These guys allow over 5.1 runs a game at the Great American Ballpark. They're facing a Minnesota club who scored 33 total runs in their last 5 outings. Royce Lewis is hitting .308 with an OPS in the 900s. Meanwhile, Max Kepler, he is currently the club leader in home runs. And even if the Twins struggle at the dish, their pitching staff continues to strike out their opponents an awful lot. The Twins punch out more batters per game on the road than any other pitching staff in baseball. And of course, the righty, Kenta Maeda, he's got a 1.22 whip, and he averages over a strikeout an inning. Now, injury-wise, Correa is questionable. Gordon's still out. Meanwhile, for Cincy, Casali, Bader, Newman, and McLean are still inactive for them. The Reds went 60% to the over in their last 10. Meanwhile, 7 out of Minnesota's last 10 ball games got over the number themselves. Ella De La Cruz, he's batting just .233 with an OPS of 700 flat. Almost has an OPS in the 600s. Awful. Give me Minnesota -145 over 9.5. Next matchup, Mets, Marlins, 6:40 p.m. East. Miami's $1.65, totals 8. Braxton Garrett for Miami, Joey Lucchesi for New York. And out of a handful of starts this year, the lefty Lucchese's looked really good. He's 3-0 with an ERA in the 2s. And in their last 10 meetings with Miami, the Mets have really held these guys in check offensively. Miami's averaged less than 3.2 run per contest. Let's try that again. Miami's averaged less than 3.2 runs per contest in those head-to-head meetings. And no real shock here, folks. They averaged double-digit strikeouts at the plate in those gatherings I just mentioned, and that's really not overly surprising. The Fish have had their issues producing runs this year. Miami's a bottom 5 run-producing lineup in the National League. Now, they're also walking just 2.5 times a game at Lone Depot Park. They're nearly dead last in the majors in that category. And as good as Braxton Garrett's been for the Marlins, well, Miami just doesn't score for the guy. They're averaging only 2.6 runs a game in their last 5 Garrett starts. Brian De La Cruz, he is questionable for the Marlins. Brett Beatty, questionable for New York. 6 out of the Mets' last 10 outings did fall under the total. They're also 60% to the under in their divisional road games. Give me the Mets plus 1.5, under 8. Next ball game, White Sox Nationals, 7:05 Eastern first pitch. Washington's $1.20, totals 9.5. Jackson Rutledge for the Nats, Jose Urena for Chicago. And even though Urena's winless with the Sox, Chicago did get the W in 2 out of their last 3 ball games. Actually, it was a victory over the Nationals, 6-1 just last night. Tim Anderson went 4 for 5 at the dish in that victory. Jimenez, Moncada, and Vaughn, they also had multi-hit games as well. Now, Chicago's facing a Nationals club who lost 6 out of their last 7 themselves, and they've certainly given up plenty of runs this year. These guys allow over 5.4 runs a game at Nationals Park. And the 6'8" monster Jackson Rutledge, he was no exception to that in his debut with the Nats. Although he's intimidating in stature, he was not great last week. The massive 24-year-old allowed 7 runs over 10 hits in just 3 2/3 innings of work last week. Now, total-wise, 2 out of Washington's last 3 home games did get over the total. Meanwhile, Chicago saw 2 out of their last 3 Urena starts get over the line. Give me the White Sox plus $1, over 9.5. Next game, Blue Jays Yankees, 7:05 Eastern first pitch. Toronto is the slight 5-cent favorite. They're minus $1.15, totals 8.5. Yusei Kikuchi for Toronto, Clark Schmidt for New York. Now, Schmidt hasn't been overly reliable. He's got an ERA of 4.56 along with a 1.34 whip. And even if he does have a good showing, the Bombers just don't hit the baseball at Yankee Stadium. New York's averaging under 7.1 hits a game in their own ballpark. They're nearly dead last in that particular category. And we probably should see some more of that here today with the lefty Kikuchi on the mound for Toronto. The Cooch man has 163 strikeouts and an ERA in the 3s. Meanwhile, at the plate, the Blue Jays continue to hit well on the road. These guys are averaging nearly double-digit hits a game in their travels. Bo Bichette hits .303, and he currently leads the lineup in hits. Vlad Guerrero's got 90 RBI and leads the roster in home runs. Now, oddly enough, 6 out of Toronto's last 10 ball games fell under the total. Meanwhile, New York went 60% to the under in their last 10. Give me the Blue Jays minus $1.15, under 8.5. Next ball game, Phillies Braves, 7:20 p.m. East. Atlanta's minus 220, totals 9. Spencer Strider for Atlanta, Christopher Sanchez for Philadelphia. And I got to tell you, I'm just tired of backing Sanchez in these spots. Like, I get it, he's throwing great. I've supported him all season long. Low ERA, low whip, big strikeout guy. But for some reason, the Phils just don't perform for the guy. Kind of burns me up because Sanchez has a lot of talent. And like I said, he's throwing well. But out of 87-plus innings this year, Sanchez has recorded only 2 wins. And in the Phils contests against National League East competition, well, Philadelphia's got a losing record. They're actually 5 games below 500 in their divisional games. Of course, they're facing an Atlanta team who's 30-13 against their divisional opponents themselves. And of course, Spencer Strider's been pretty dominant on the hill this year. He's recorded 17 big wins, along with 259 total strikeouts. And, even though all I talk about are these Atlanta bats, it is actually their pitching staff who's averaging nearly 10.1 strikeouts per 9 at Truist Park. They're actually leading the National League right now in strikeouts per game at home. Now, 7 out of Atlanta's last 10 ball games did get over the total. Philadelphia went 60% to the over in their last 10 themselves. Give me Atlanta -1.5, over 9. Next ball game, Guardians Royals, 7:40 p.m. East. Cleveland's -1.50, totals 9.5. Logan Allen for the Guardians, Steven Cruz for Kansas City. And even though Cruz has just 7 innings of work under his belt, he's managed to have a very high ERA and whip. He's got an ERA in the 5s along with a 1.43 whip. Pretty bad numbers during that short span. And even if he does throw well here today against the Guardians, well, the Royals have really struggled at the plate this year. These guys are a bottom 5 run-producing lineup in the league. They're also facing Logan Allen, who's got an ERA in the 3s, and he averages just about a strikeout an inning. And out of Cleveland's last 10 matchups with the Guardians, their pitchers have really shut them down. They've limited the Royals to just 3.1 runs per contest during those meetings. Now, Cleveland's 15-6 of the under against the AL Central on the road. The Royals went 70% to the under in their last 10. Give me the Guardians -1.50, under 9.5. Next contest, Pirates Cubs, 7:40 p.m. East. Now, this game's currently off the board. It looks like it could be Javier Assad for Chicago and possibly Bailey Falter for Pittsburgh. But regardless of who throws out the first pitch for the Pirates, this is a Pittsburgh lineup who struggles with Chicago pitching. The Buccos have been held to just 2.7 runs a game in their last 10 gatherings with Chicago. And for the season, the Pirates are now a bottom 3 hit-producing lineup. They continue to get worse. Now, they're going up possibly against Javier Assad here today. And if they do, Assad's got an ERA of just 3.10 through 95-plus innings. Of course, at the plate, the Cubs are a top 5 hit-producing lineup in the National League. Cody Bellinger's a top 10 batting average and OPS guy in the majors. He's also the club leader in bombs and ribbies. Meanwhile, Nico Horner leads the clubhouse in hits. Give me the Cubbies getting the job done for some moneyline cash. Next contest, little NL Central action. Brewers Cardinals, 7:45 East. Milwaukee's $1.25 on the road, totals 9. Trevor McGill for Milwaukee. Drew Rom for St. Louis. And even though Rom hasn't been great, he is facing a lackluster Milwaukee lineup of hitters. Milwaukee's a bottom 5 hit-producing lineup in the league. And in their last 10 meetings with the Cards, the Brewers have had all kinds of issues producing runs. They average only 2.2 runs a game during that time frame I just mentioned. They're facing a St. Louis club who won 4 out of their last 6. And they do continue to hit well at Busch Stadium. These guys are a top 5 hit-producing team at home in the National League. Nolan Arenado's got a team-best 92 RBI. Paul Goldschmidt leads the roster in hits. O'Neill, Carlson, and Gorman are still inactive for St. Louis. Christian Yelich questionable for Milwaukee. 7 out of Milwaukee's last 10 ball games fell under the number. St. Louis went 60% to the under in their last 10. Give me the Cardinals +105, under 9. Next matchup, Red Sox, Rangers, 8:05 Eastern first pitch. Texas is -1.75, totals 8.5. Nathan Eovaldi for the Rangers, Tanner Houck for Boston. Now, Tanner's just 5-9 on the season with an ERA just about in the 5s. Meanwhile, as a team, the Bo Sox lost 7 out of their last 10, and they actually struggled offensively through most of that stretch. They're facing a Ranger club who cashed in on the run line in 6 out of their last 10 themselves. They've also got 11-win Nathan Eovaldi on the bump. He's been solid for the Rangers. The righties 11-4 with an ERA in the twos. Eovaldi's also got himself a solid 1.09 whip. Now, 7 out of Texas's last 10 ball games did get over the number. They also went 7-3 to the over in their last 10 Eovaldi starts. Give me the Rangers minus $1.75, over 8.5. Next matchup, Orioles-Astros, 8:10 p.m. East. Houston's $1.45, totals 9. Hunter Brown for Houston, Kyle Gibson for Baltimore. Now, Gibson's won a lot of ball games for this Baltimore team. He's recorded 14 wins on the year and has 144 strikeouts. And out of Gibson's last dozen starts, the O's took the loss only 3 times. They actually scored a considerable amount of runs in the process. Adley Rutschman leads the club in hits. Anthony Santander, he's got the most RBI. Now they're facing righty Hunter Brown. And I'll tell you what, Brown has allowed his fair share of runs with Houston this year. Hunter Brown's got an ERA of 4.61. As far as a team, the Astros, they took the loss in 4 out of Hunter Brown's last 6 starts. Now, what's quite alarming about the defending champs, it's actually their home record this year. The Astros are currently 3 games below 500 against American League opponents at Minute Maid Park. Certainly a stark contrast from the year they got caught cheating at home. 4 out of their last 7 ball games in their own building got over the total. Meanwhile, Baltimore went 60% to the over in their last 10. Give me the O's plus 1.5, over 9. Next contest, Rockies Padres, 9:40 p.m. East. San Diego's 280, totals 8. Blake Snell for the Pods, Ryan Feltner for Colorado. Now, Feltner's got an ERA close to 6 for the Rockies, along with a 1.75 whip. And even if he throws well against the Padres here today, the Rockies just can't score on the road. They're dead last in the National League in run production while traveling. They're also facing a Padres team who does hit Colorado pitching quite well. The Pods have averaged 6.1 runs a game in their last 10 gatherings with the Rockies. So if you're into historical trends, certainly want to think about that one there. Now, these Pods hitters have also been incredibly patient at the dish. They lead the majors in walks per 9 in the box. Juan Soto, he's been walked 123 times this season. He's actually got an OPS in the 900s. He currently ranks 5th in the bigs in RBI. Meanwhile, Tatis and Kim, they both have a wins above replacement average over 5.4 respectively. So kind of hard to believe San Diego's as bad as they've been, because man, they got a great roster. I don't get it. Now, even if these Padres hitters can't generate any run support for Blake Snell, well, he's not going to need much. He's probably still going to keep you in the game. The lefty Snell, he's got 14 wins on the year with 217 big strikeouts. And equally as impressive, Snell's got a low ERA of 2.43. 8 out of Snell's last 11 starts fell under the total. 6 out of San Diego's last 10 gatherings with Colorado fell under the line as well. So once again, if you're into historical trends, plenty of unders to go around. Give me the Padres minus 1.5, under 8. Next ball game, another NL West contest here. Giants at the D-backs, 9:40 p.m. East. Arizona's $1.50, totals 8.5. Zach Gallen for Arizona, Alex Cobb for San Francisco. And even though Cobb's been very good, we have seen his whip creep up to a 1.30. And these San Francisco pitchers, they've certainly had their issues away from Oracle Park. The Giants are currently in the bottom 5 in the National League in hits allowed on the road. Now, offensively, the Giants are having all kinds of problems with strikeouts. They're actually fanning 10.3 times a game in their travels. They're facing a 15-win Zach Gallen, who continues to bring the heat. He's just 1 strikeout shy of 200 for the year. And, of course, the righty Gallen, he's also got himself a solid 1.11 whip. Now, these Diamondback pitchers, they've really had their way with the Giants in recent gatherings. They're holding San Francisco to just 3.7 runs a game in their last 10 gatherings. 2 out of Arizona's last 3 at Chase Field got over the total. The Giants are also 7-3 the over in their last 10. Give me the Diamondbacks minus $1.50 over 8.5. Next ball game, Mariners A's 9:40 p.m. East. Seattle's minus 210, total 7.5. Luis Castillo for Seattle, Paul Blackburn for Oakland. Blackburn's just 4-5 with a 1.54 whip. And even if he does throw well here today, the A's just can't hit this Mariner pitching. They're averaging only 1.9 runs a game in their last 10 gatherings with Seattle. As far as this season's concerned, this A's lineup is dead last in runs per game. They're facing a 13-7 Luis Castillo, who's got a 1.04 whip, and of course an ERA in the low threes. Now Castillo is also just one strikeout shy of 200 for the season. When it comes to offensive production, the M's are a top 5 run-producing lineup on the road. Julio Rodriguez leads the roster in RBI and hits. He's actually 8th in the big leagues in runs batted in. Meanwhile, J.P. Crawford, he has the second most runs scored on the team. The M's are currently 60% to the under against the AL West this year. Meanwhile, Oakland's gone 62% to the under in their divisional contest themselves. Give me the Mariners minus 1.5, under 7.5 in the tight window. Next and final matchup, Tigers-Dodgers, 10:10 p.m. East. This game's currently off the board, but regardless of who pitches for either squad, the Dodgers pound the baseball and the Tigers don't. LA scores more runs a game than any other club besides Atlanta. Detroit scores fewer runs a game than any other club besides Oakland. Give me the Dodgers getting the job done for some money line cash. And with that, folks, we're going to jump into our quick pick recap. Tampa Bay Rays minus 1.5 over 8. Twins minus 145 over 9.5. New York Mets plus 1.5 under 8 runs. I'm 3-0 my last 3 daily best plays on my premium page. And the good news is I have another daily best play going off here today. And if you sign up to receive that pick here today, you're actually going to receive one premium selection of mine every single day for the next 30 days. The math works out to be just 6 cents a day. The link is in my bio. White Sox plus $1 over 9.5. Blue Jays minus $1.15 under 8.5. Atlanta Braves minus 1.5 over 9. Guardians minus $1.50 under 9.5. Chicago Cubs getting the job done for some money line cash. Cardinals plus 105 under 9. Rangers minus 175 over 8.5. Orioles plus 1.5 over 9. Padres minus 1.5 under 8. Diamondbacks minus $1.50 over 8.5. Mariners minus 1.5 under 7.5. With my next and final free pick, give me the Dodgers getting the job done for some money line cash. And with that, folks, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my website. And one final reminder, guys, if you do end up getting a membership here today on patreon.com/BrockPage, just a friendly reminder, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, guys, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships absolutely free. They're going to be included with your purchase. That's why I always tell folks that Chairman Package, it's a full access, all-inclusive membership. It gives you access to every single personal play of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, guys, you also get access to my Chairman podcast absolutely free. It's included with your purchase. But most importantly, guys, gotta thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. With that said, folks, happy Tuesday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.